11 plus creative writing feels like the hardest part to revise because unlike everything else in the 11 plus, there's no single right answer. But here's the good news. Examiners reward the same handful of things every single time. Learn those and you can write a top band story for any title they give you. Let's break it down step by step. First, an important one most guides skip. Not every 11 plus has a writing task. The big multiple choice tests, GL assessment, the ISEB Common Pre-Test, and the London Consortium's online test usually have no creative writing at all. But plenty of routes do. The CSSE exam in Essex, the Kent test, the second stage at selective schools like Sutton and Tiffin, ISEB Common Entrance, and most independent schools. Timings and rules vary a lot and they change year to year, so always check your target school's current admissions page. If writing's on your list, the rest of this lesson is for you. So what scores well? Marking usually comes down to two things. First, content and style, original ideas, a clear structure, ambitious vocabulary, varied sentences, and description that shows rather than tells. Second, technical accuracy, spelling, punctuation, and grammar, and the golden rule, control beats spectacle. A simple story told brilliantly will always beat a wild, dramatic plot that's all over the place. You're not trying to be the most exciting, you're trying to be the most in control. Every strong piece follows the same routine. Spend 2 or 3 minutes planning just 3 things: your opening line, the one big moment your story turns on, and your ending. Then write a gripping opening, keep a clear beginning, middle and end, and leave a minute at the end to check your spelling and punctuation. Aim for around 300 to 400 words. That's it. Now the techniques that fill it. Let's plan one together in under 2 minutes. Imagine the title is The Visitor. Your opening line, a knock at the door late at night. Your turning point. The door opens but no one's there, just a single object waiting on the step. And your ending, cycle back, the door closing softly behind you. 3 lines and you've already got a complete shape. Everything after that is just bringing it to life. Notice we didn't plan every detail, just the bones. Your first line matters more than any other. A weak opening tells us nothing. One day I woke up and it was raining. A strong opening drops us straight into a moment. The knock came at midnight, 3 sharp raps and then silence. See the difference? One makes the reader want to know what happens next. Start with an action, a sound, a question, or a surprising image. Never "it was a dark and stormy night." This is the single phrase examiners love most. Show. Don't tell. Don't name a feeling, reveal it. Instead of "Mia was terrified," write "Mia's breath caught. Her fingers dug into the doorframe until they ached." We don't need the word terrified, we can feel it. Show emotion through the body and the senses and your writing instantly jumps a band. Swap tired words for sharp ones. Not nice, big, or good, and especially choose precise verbs. Don't just say a character walked, decide how. Did they creep, trudge, stride, or dart? The enormous dog padded over, then stopped, tells us far more than the big dog walked over. Ambitious doesn't mean long or fancy, it means exact. Mix your sentence lengths. Long sentences build atmosphere, short ones hit hard. The corridor stretched ahead, long and grey and endless. She took one step, then another. The lights went out. That short burst at the end lands because the sentences before it were long. And use a range of punctuation accurately, a dash for a pause, an ellipsis to leave something hanging. Used well, punctuation is a tool, not decoration. Let's turn weak lines into strong ones. The room was messy becomes, clothes spilled from every drawer, and a half-eaten sandwich curled on the desk. He was angry becomes, his jaw tightened and the pencil snapped in his fist. It was cold becomes, her breath hung in the air as frost crept across the glass. Same idea every time, but shown, not told, with precise verbs and real detail. This is the single biggest jump you can make. A single fresh comparison lifts a paragraph. Rain hammered the windows like 1,000 tiny fists. But don't pile them on, too much imagery and the writing feels overcooked. The trick top writers use instead is the 5 senses. Don't just say a place is scary. Tell us what it smells like, sounds like, feels like. The air smelled of wet earth and something older, something forgotten. Every story needs a clear shape, a beginning that sets the scene, a middle that builds to one turning point, and an ending that feels deliberate, not. And then I woke up. A lovely trick is the cyclical ending. Finish by returning to an image from your opening. If you started with that midnight knock, end with the door finally swinging shut. Here's a short opening that uses everything at once, written from scratch. The knock came at midnight, 3 sharp raps, then silence. Mia's breath caught. She crept to the door, every floorboard groaning beneath her, and pressed one trembling hand against the cold wood. Outside, the rain hammered like 1,000 tiny fists. She waited. Nothing. Slowly she turned the handle and the door swung open onto an empty street and a single soaking envelope lying on the step. A hook, show don't tell, a precise verb, a short sentence for impact, one simile, the senses, and a turning point, all in 70 words. Quickly, the traps to avoid, not planning, telling instead of showing, a tired, cliched opening, a rushed ending, starting every sentence with I or then, overusing similes, wandering off the title, and forgetting to leave time to check your spelling and punctuation. Avoid those and you're already ahead of most. You won't know your title in advance, so practice across the types. Write a short story, continue a story, describe a place, write a diary entry or a persuasive letter, and rotate the topics, adventures, animals, strong emotions, places, people, journeys. The more types you've tried, the calmer you'll be, whatever comes up on the day. Quick answers to what parents ask. Does every 11 plus have creative writing? No, only some routes do. How long is it? Usually 20 to 45 minutes, but it varies. Is it always marked? Not always. In the Kent test, for example, it isn't scored directly. Are model answers worth copying? No. Examiners reward original ideas, so study the technique, then write your own. And how should you practice at home? Little and often, short timed pieces across different titles, lots of reading and feedback on just 1 or 2 things at a time, not every mistake at once. Creative writing rewards the writer who plans, shows instead of tells, and keeps control. And the best way to get there is little and often. Practice on PIP 11+. Practice free on iOS and Android with English papers, comprehension, and vocabulary builders to strengthen every story. A few minutes a day and writing becomes your strongest paper. Good luck.